Welcome everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Megan Twentyman, the BDM for Unified Communications here at Soft Solutions. Thanks for joining our webinar today. We're going to look at 3CX's Update 7A beta, a recap on the free licenses, a recap on the security, and a few other bits that I've thrown in at the last minute with new news out of 3CX because there is a lot happening. Really excited to welcome Kiran Kumar, who is our new technical specialist here at Soft Solutions. So Kiran's been with us for nearly a month now, learning in the background and learning lots about 3CX and the UC portfolio.
Hi everyone, it's great to join you today.
Awesome, thanks Kiran. And I am very excited to have Sebastian Harvis, who is the 3CX ANZ Senior Account Manager, on the call with us today. Now, Sebastian works crazy hours in Cyprus to suit our ANZ time zone, and we really appreciate that. Plus he gets crossover with his colleagues in Cyprus. But Sebastian has got up a couple of hours earlier than normal. It is currently 2:30 a.m. in Cyprus. So welcome, Sebastian.
Hi, good morning. Good morning from me. Good afternoon to you guys. Thank you for the invite, Megan. Appreciate it. Yeah, lovely to be here. Thank you very much for the invite.
Awesome. And because we've got Sebastian on the call with us, when we get to the Q&A at the end, which is part of my bite-sized webinar format, if there's any questions I can't answer or any questions that Sebastian can give further insights to, we will call on him for that as well. So we'll get cracking through the webinar. So just to recap the agenda for today, one thing I just wanted to quickly, there's no slide about this, mention is that the license extensions for all paid licenses, so the 3-month extension, that was put on towards the end of April, about the 25th our time, which is Anzac Day. So our systems are being updated with all the new expiry dates, but you will see those already in your portal. So customers have got that free extension. So I just wanted to mention that. So onto the agenda. Update 7A, we'll have a look at the beta, which is an optional release. There's been some Debian Linux security updates. I'm going to touch on the free license offerings and scenarios again because I get so many questions about this, even though we've covered it before, so there's still a bit of confusion. Just a recap around the security breach because that's obviously very topical. I've got some updates on the new technical certifications. We saw the new iOS app released overnight, and then we will wrap up with our Q&A. Okay, so Update 7A beta is a security-focused update. It's part of the EFTA policy that 3CX has implemented since the security breach. So EFTA stands for 7, so it's 7 steps to security. This is an optional update. It's actually going to remain at beta and it will be rolled into Update 8, which is cooking in the lab as we speak. So one of the key things in Update 7A beta is the introduction of hashing of passwords. So this is for your web passwords, i.e. your web client, etc. In the future releases, they're going to take this down to the SIP auth ID, the SIP trunk and gateway, the tunnel passwords, everything will become hashed. Now, I cannot stress more strongly how important it is for you as a 3CX partner to consider password security for your customers. If your customers create passwords with password 123, their 3CX will get compromised because people are always trying to hack anything. They try to hack emails, they try to hack IPPBXs. So really think about password security and setting strong structures around passwords for people. In Update 7A beta, the welcome email has a facelift. There's the removal of the password and the config file from that email. You know, it's all about considering that security. You can use the QR code to provision mobile devices, and it's just had a bit of a refresh, really. The other key thing in Update 7A is with the management console moving across in steps to the web client admin access, you can now restrict access by IP address for that. So if you've got people traveling overseas or what have you, you need to think about what restrictions you have put in place so that they still have access if needed. But it means you can lock it down by IP and make it just that much more secure because that is obviously the link into your live system. The other thing that has been much talked about is the PWA, or Progressive Web App, and the fact that it didn't have any BLFs, or busy lights, on the panel. This is introduced in Update 7A beta, so it's more enhancements for that PWA. 3CX are strongly recommending the use of the web client or the PWA or the mobile apps. The desktop app is available, and there are certain circumstances where you will definitely want to use that. And there is the old legacy soft phone app, which some of my team still use for the reception mode drag and drop. So as much as I try to change them to right click and send calls, they still do drag and drop. Just key points to recap on Update 7A, and I did cover this when we were looking at the alpha, but I think it's really important just to look at this again. Make sure that you've done a backup before you update to Update 7A beta, which, as I say, is an optional update. If you've got auto updates on, it will not automatically be installed, so it is an optional update. All your passwords are going to be hashed once it's updated, so make sure you know those and have access to them. Welcome emails will now support the set or reset password option. So if you've got a custom email template, you'll need to update that with that new variable as well. Resending credentials replaced with that forgot password option. And as kind of a security best practice, it's probably a really good time to actually get new passwords for everybody. It's probably a really good time to do that through the organisation. You know, I look back and look at us, we've been using 3CX for 12 years, and I'm, you know, just as guilty as everybody else at not updating our passwords regularly. I have updated because I was using one of the desktop apps, so my password has been updated, and we use a password management system. So because of the hashing, 3CX can no longer kind of say that's a really weak password. So again, goes back to talking about that password security. And this information was live as at the 24th of April, that all the builds were reviewed against virus total and zero detections, etc. were found. That still stands today. It's just that was the date and time that that information was made available. Following on from that, on the 9th of May, 3CX released some updates for the Debian Linux package. So it's in the new ISO, the latest ISO, as of the 9th of May. So new installs from that date on, as long as you were using the current ISO and not a downloaded and stored copy of the ISO, will already be updated. For installations prior to the 9th of May that are on Update 7 or Update 7A, if you turn on automatic updates and set it for weekly, it will update within the week. And then if you want to turn your automatic updates off again, which you are able to, or reset them back to monthly, whatever your setting is, that will just allow the system to update the ISO for you. It will not automatically take you from 7 to 7A. It will just install those updates for Debian. So that's just further security enhancements there. Okay, on to free licenses. So I have conversations about free licenses on a daily basis with our partners, and we've covered this several times, but there's still a bit of confusion out there. So I've tried to really simplify this. If you've got a situation where you need to discuss it, feel free to give me a call, jump on the email, and I'm happy to help. So key dates. 1st of January 2023, this year, the free offering from 3CX officially was just startup free for 10 users. Startup free has some restrictions, but you can connect IP SIP phones to it, and you can only have one ring group, etc. But that is the free offering, and that is the free offering moving forward from 3CX. If you created a free trial of a dedicated license, that was a trial, and any that you create now are a trial for 60 days, and they will deactivate on conclusion. But of course, you're going to sell it, and you're going to be upgrading it to a live license, keeping the same license key. But that key date is 1st of January 2023. So then the question always becomes, what about licenses before the 1st of January, so prior to the 31st of December 2022. Currently, those free for simultaneous call or standard for simultaneous call, whichever language you use around them, have an expiry date of the 1st of September 2023. That was the 30th of June 2023. It was extended by 3 months when all the extensions were put through in April to the 1st of September 2023. Now, 3CX have said that these licenses will be available through till the 31st of December 2024, as long as you follow some very set and specific rules. Now, those key rules are that the license must be registered in the end customer's email address. There is 1 instance per email address. You can't have the same customer with 25 different 3CX instances. And then there is a X limit by partner level associated with a 3CX partner. So if you're, say, a bronze partner, you can only have 5 free licenses associated with your partner ID. The focus is on getting people using the paid licenses with the added functionality and features. So if you meet the rules, licenses that currently say expiry 1st of September will get extended out to the 31st of December 2023. And 3CX will be running an algorithm through their systems to check for valid email addresses, not more than 1 instance, and bronze partners with 3,000 free licenses will be a bit of a problem. Okay, they'll extend them out. Then they're going to rerun that again and review it. And
Megan, can I just throw something in there for you? Sorry
Sure.
to interrupt. We ran the algorithm this week, in fact.
Oh,
so
there you go.
yeah, so I think on Monday, all the free licenses that Megan stipulated now earlier that had been registered correctly in the customer's details with the customer's email address were extended already to the 31st of December 2023. So that's already happened. Okay, just
fantastic.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks, Sebastian. No, that's great. We knew it was close, so that's perfect. Now that's going to be rerun again in November sometime. I'm not sure the exact dates yet. And then they'll be extended out to the 31st of December 2024. However, it is very clear that the standard license has been withdrawn from new sale. You can still renew standard licenses of larger levels than the free, but that standard license is no longer. So it's really important to start having discussions with your customers about getting them onto the right license for them. Now, there is no migration between dedicated and startup or startup to dedicated at this point in time. It has been talked about and it may become a thing, but it's not available at this point. So you need to look at what is the right licensing model, what's right for you as the partner with the SIP providers that you use, those types of things, and start those conversations. A really easy way is to upgrade customers to the Pro for simultaneous call, because it's just upgrading that same license key. All the infrastructure stays the same, but they access bigger functionality. So those conversations need to be started to be thinking about them, because before we know it, it will be 2024 and then we'll be having this conversation and we'll be getting close to the end of it. Time just flies. Another key question that's coming up in line with all of this information about free licensing and the old standard license, etc., is what happens with a dedicated license that you miss a renewal, for example, it's not done on time. Currently, that still drops down to the free full simultaneous call license, but it needs to meet all the rules. So if you've got licenses not registered to the end customer, you're running your 3CX business as an MSP, which we know lots of you do, that's fine. Just be aware that you need to get it upgraded back to where it should be fairly quickly by our team, or you're running the risk of it being deactivated. So our strong advice is always to ensure that you renew on time. You don't want disruptions to your customers. You don't want any of those things happening. But if you find yourself in that situation, reach out to our team and we are available to assist. So our sales team can do your quotes and information. Our admin team can do all your processing. And of course, I'm here as well to help with any guidance that you may need. Okay, security breach. So we talked about this in much more detail on last month's webinar. We've sort of moved further along the pathway, but I thought it was important just to do a recap, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page. So The timeline was the 30th of March 2023. We had the first reports of a problem with the desktop app. Now, to be very clear, this is around the 3CX desktop app, which is built on Electron code. It is different to the PWA. It is different to the web client. It is different to the softphone apps, and it's different to the mobile apps. And it was not a breach inside the actual 3CX management consoles. It was the desktop app specifically. During the course of the following month, 3CX released, I think it actually was 16 now, but 15 blogs, and they had a specific forum open. Nick Galea, the founder and owner of 3CX, was very active in there, answering people's questions, offering the reassurance. 3CX appointed Mandiant to lead the investigation and resolution into the desktop app issue. That was done on the 30th of March in Cyprus time, the 31st of March our time. And then Mandiant have released 2 very detailed findings reports. Their initial findings were released on the 11th of April, and then a more detailed findings was released on the 20th of April. Those are public documents on the 3CX blog. Happy to share the links with those. It talks about where the intrusion was from, how it has occurred, which was from a personal computer using a VPN into the 3CX system. It was a North Korean led team of cyber attackers, and there's a lot more detail around that. We did cover that in more detail last time, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but if you need to have a discussion about that, feel free to reach out. I can point you to the released public information. The 3CX have been so transparent. It is fantastic in terms of how you handle something is what stakes your name as a customer and what you're remembered for. They've then taken rapid action with security enhancements, starting with that update 7A and the Debian Linux ISO updates, and then obviously update 8 is in development because that has been talked about on the public blog when they announced that the 7A was staying at beta. The desktop app safe build was released on the 6th of April, so that was all checked and released on the 6th of April. So you're talking a week from breach to the new safe version of the desktop app, which just the build numbers there, 18.12.425. That's for both platforms. So that is still the current build. That will obviously change over time, but as at today, that is still the safe desktop app. And there are reasons that you want the desktop app for certain clients. Just bear in mind 3CX's thought patterns around why the PWA is more safe. There's a lot of blog information, and I can happily share that with you as well. So on to some more exciting news. The new 3CX technical certifications are starting to roll out, which is great. So the Academy website on 3CX's website has been updated. Now, there's a little image over on the right of my slide there, and it's got the 6 topics of each of the 2 certifications. So we now have basic and advanced, and you'll notice there's no links or URLs. If you click on the basic picture, like the logo, or the advanced, it will take you to the training materials. There's no slide deck there yet, but there is a lot of links, a lot of information, which is all your preparation for the training. The exams are not quite ready yet. They will be ready soon. The portal has to undergo some updates. So in your portals today, whether that's an end customer portal, a partner portal, or our distributor portal, the old exams are still there. So the basic, intermediate, and advanced. But those will be updated very soon. We keep hearing they're not too far away, and that's why the training is starting to roll out as well. Everyone has to recertify, so we are requesting that everybody recertify over time, and we realise that's going to take time for organisations to recertify because you can't take every single technician offline to do that. For us in New Zealand, I have not confirmed dates for the training because we need 2 things. We need the final materials from Nicholas Perez, the global trainer at 3CX, and we need to be able to sit the exams because part of doing an in-person training is to be able to get through that exam at the end of the day and finish the day with your certification that you will of course pass. However, there is some global online training starting to roll out that actually work for the ANZ time zone. So we're very lucky that we are getting this level of assistance. It's very, as I say, stupid o'clock early for Nicholas Perez based in Cyprus to be rolling these out, but they come up during June. So each certification is split into 3 sessions. So basic is 1 week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. each day. So 3 2-hour sessions at the end of the day. The advanced is the following week, again 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. apart from Thursday, which is an extra 30 minutes, so slightly longer. Those will be run by Nicholas, and the benefits of a Nicholas training is he's got every war story under the sun, and he'll be able to tell you a little bit more background as well. We learn all that information from Nicholas and then we reshare that when we run our training. So our dates will be coming soon. We will be taking those on the road around New Zealand and also online, because obviously New Zealand has a very big geographical spread, which can be a little bit challenging. So watch the space, but everything is starting to happen with technical trainings. So just announced last night is the new iOS app. Now, I feel like I've been using this forever because I'm part of Test Flight, which is the beta program for the iOS update. So for me, it just feels exactly the same, but it has got a new fresh interface and the live one updated on my iPhone just this morning. So there's a lot of things that have been added in here. So been able to handle multiple calls. So you can see in the second image in the middle there that there's actually, it's probably a little bit small on your screens, but there are 3 calls on hold while there's an active call going on and that kind of stuff. And you can see you've got all the options there to work with those calls and move between calls. They've also done things like allowed you to be able to navigate around your system while you're on a call rather than being just frozen on your call screen. So you can also be on speakerphone, which I tend to do a lot, and using your mobile at the same time to do bits and pieces. So lots of enhancements. You can elevate calls into a video call, all those types of things. So really good to see that level of update coming out. We're seeing more and more people using the mobile apps, and I tend to really use a mixture of PWA, web client, and my mobile app. So it just depends on where I am and what I'm doing. But that came out live last night. All right, so technical trainings, we've just covered that off. We'll be announcing those dates as soon as we can. Stay tuned to our communications. So we have our UC channel update. The monthly newsletter actually just went out at 11 a.m. this morning. We have our weekly newsletter, which has events and information. And then I keep the LinkedIn group up to date all the time. So that's really important as well, to get the latest information and not wait for the wrap up of the monthly newsletter. Oops, my mouse has decided to play up. All right, so that brings us to the Q&A section. So you've got a question mark there that you can throw in. And let me just find my question box, which has jumped out. Sorry, guys. But feel free to throw any questions in. Sebastian's on the line to answer any questions as well. Try and get my mouse back. It's great having split screen until I lose my Q&A. Here's my questions. Okay. I have managed to pop it out somehow and not bring it back. That's okay, I will find it and answer any questions that you may have. Nothing's lighting up at the moment. Sorry guys, it doesn't normally do this to me. Sebastian, did you have anything else you wanted to add while I'm just trying to find my question box that's disappeared
Megan,
from me?
What I have still got on my side is that 3CX hasn't deleted the affiliates yet either. So
Okay.
still an opportunity if anybody is out there that are affiliates that want to continue working, selling 3CX, just to get hold of me, drop me a mail to sha@3cx.com. Let me move you from an affiliate to a trainee partner, just so that your account doesn't get deleted. I had somebody from NZ this week, in fact, that I think
may have sent that one to you.
I think it was, yeah, it came through, and not a bad one at all, because the person was busy working on a couple of 16 simultaneous call licenses, so it would have been a partner that I actually don't think both of us would have enjoyed losing anyway.
Exactly.
So I think if you guys if you are an affiliate and you haven't done too much and you'd like to reignite anything with 3CX and SoftSol, just get hold of us, let us know so that I can. I think they're going to run that probably maybe even tomorrow, I think the end of May.
Okay. Yep.
So that's the one update from my side. The other
Great.
update is, sorry, Megan, you were going to say something?
No, you go. I've got a couple of questions that I'll answer in a minute, but it's all good.
Okay, excellent. So that was the one thing. The second is on the free licenses. When the license actually downgrades back to a free license, obviously it's got very much limited functionality. I think it will carry on working purely as a you'll be able to make calls, but that's about all it's going to be able to do. So just keep that in mind. I have had a couple of people phoning me and saying, yeah, my license expired, but it's still working. Yes, it is going to carry on working, but you're going to lose most of the functionality on that.
Yeah, the key things is if you're using IBRs or queues to answer any of your calls, when they go offline, you don't get your calls coming through. So it can become a real problem. So definitely make sure that you get those licenses renewed on time. Just to jump into a couple of questions, any updates on additional router phones? Not at this stage, Mark. I'm really interested to know which phones you might potentially be looking at. Feel free to drop me a message. The phones have to be capable of running the router function for up to 10 phones to tether off it, which is why they are the bigger phones. T4s will not be router phones. Key reason behind that is they just don't have enough memory capacity on them to have enough phones tethered off them. What we are seeing is people using a T53W or T54W from Yealink and putting the EXP50 expansion board on and actually putting it at reception, which never tends to move their phone, and using that as the phone. So we're seeing lots of examples of that because you can put expansion boards on those T5 phones, and it makes it a really good way of having a router phone on a site. If the site's big enough, you probably go standalone SBC anyway. Yeah, that's where we're at there. No release dates on update 8 as yet. It has just obviously been announced as part of the 7A beta. It has been worked on, but it will be done very methodically. There's a lot that will go into update 8 where it's hashing passwords down to a lower level within the system, within the instance. So they need to make sure that when they hash stuff, they don't break anything else. So they're going to be doing that very methodically. So that's where we're at with that, but we'll see when we hear more about update 8. What is the standard license limit for a partner? As just check the ones. Okay, so there's no license limit on standard paid licenses, so that's different to the free licenses. In terms of the free licenses, it's 5 for bronze, I think 25 for silver. I can't remember. Sebastian, can you remember? So the higher your partner level, the more free licenses you can have associated with your account. However, we still strongly urge you to get people off free licensing and onto
unlimited
paid
on
licenses.
startup.
Yeah, startups unlimited, so you can have as many startup frees. Obviously for New Zealand, the biggest barrier we've got at the moment with startup free is there's only currently the 2 solutions providers here in New Zealand that have the interop for SIP for that, but we hope to see that change soon. So that is a limitation when people are stuck on their, want to continue with their particular SIP provider as well. So yeah, Graham, I'll have a look at your partner level and I'll let you know what your number is. I'll flick you a text, so that's all good. Any more questions coming through? Doesn't look like it. If there are any burning questions, obviously give me a call, drop me an email. We're here to help. So that really just leaves me to wrap up the webinar and thank you all for attending today. Thank you, Kieran, for jumping on for your first webinar with Soft Solutions. And Kieran will be handling all of our first level support moving forward. She is still learning, so please be kind. And she's ably supported by Anoop and myself, and of course the backup of the 3CX team. And thank you, Sebastian, for getting up at what I would have to say is stupid o'clock to come and join our webinar today. We truly do appreciate it. And for those of you that haven't seen Sebastian in person, you can actually see him in his home office right there. And, you know, we do appreciate Sebastian getting up at crazy hours to work in our time zone, which makes a huge difference to us as the 3CX distributor and you as the partners. So we do really appreciate that. So thank you, everybody, and have a fantastic rest of your day.